seen this woman lately? She used to hang around here a lot, usually my husband. She is such a loser. She's thrilled that she's a loser. She's an 82-pound loser. And for those of you that don't know, she's me. Those pictures that you just saw are of me 82 pounds ago, wearing a size 22. And that's not anything that I would ever admitted before. But this morning, I have room in a size 10. And what I'd like to share with you is my motivation, what got me through it, how I did it, and more importantly, what I'm learning through the whole process. My weight is something that I've struggled with for my entire life. I was a chubby little girl, I was overweight in high school, and just throughout my life I've continued to just gain a little here and a little there. Losing some sometimes, putting it back on, but always I've struggled with my weight and weight issues. I've tried every single diet that came out. I did the rice diet, the exchange diet, the Atkins diet, the protein diet, the low-carb diet. Every single time a new one came out, I tried it, and while most of them worked, I'd lose a few quick pounds, but then put it back again and then gain extra. None of them had any lasting effect. So in total frustration, I decided that I would just do the to heck with it all, eat what you want, and just don't give a rip diet. That one worked real well, I'll tell you. And about 3 years ago, what began as a routine trip to the grocery store ended up being a life-changing experience for me. That day, I saw two elderly ladies, not together, doing their own individual shopping, but one of them was pushing a grocery cart, the other one was riding it around in one of those little scooters, but they both were carrying oxygen tanks and had the little tubes around their ears with the stuff in their nose just so that they could breathe. And I looked at them, I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be her. I don't want to be that lady. But you know what? I was over 50, I was overweight, and I knew that if I didn't do something drastic, I was headed down that same path. So I did what I usually do, when God clearly shows me something. I procrastinated. I shoved it to the back of my mind, took my time mulling it over, and pondering how I was going to magically, and without much effort, lose a whole bunch of weight. But I couldn't forget those two ladies. And when I realized that I was beginning to get out of breath just from bending over to tie my shoes, I knew that it was time to take my health into my own hands and do something and make some serious changes. So I went on the internet, and after some research, I found a weight loss clinic not too far from my house in Port St. Lucie that promised that I could lose all 82 pounds in 7 months. And I thought, hot dog, just what I wanted. I could lose all my weight in a relatively short time and be done with it. Of course, I would have preferred to go to bed one night and wake up skinny, but that hadn't happened in 50 years, and it was getting the idea that it wasn't ever going to happen. So I signed up without even looking to see what I could or couldn't have or what the diet was about, signed on the line, and began what was the absolute worst 6 weeks of my entire life. Now, before you get me wrong, it was not that diet, it was not that program. There are people that have done wonderfully on that diet, Vicki. So it was just me, it wasn't meant for me. My passion is cooking. I love to cook. I love to can vegetables. I make my own bread. But also with that diet, it was structured, and I don't do well with structure either. I did lose 20 pounds, the first 20 pounds I lost on that diet, but it made me cry every single day. I thought, okay, this is nuts. It was just, for me, that particular diet was just, it was torture. And about the same time, I went to an all-night crop party. We have some friends in Port St. Lucie, and we get together to scrapbook, and when we do, we usually just bring our pajamas because we know we're going to be up so late nobody wants to drive home. And my friend Cheryl introduced me to whole food cooking, and I thought, what in the world is whole food cooking? Thinking it was going to be some kind of vegetarian hippie stuff with beans and rice. But she said, no, it's just eating real food, nothing processed. I thought, oh, the more she explained, I thought, just the way I grew up. My mama cooked like that every night. That's how I learned to cook. So where did we go wrong? You know, how did I get away from that? Several years ago, I'd also done Weight Watchers. I had the material in my desk drawer, and I don't know why they planned it that way, but it doesn't work when you put it in your drawer. I think it's this little thing that Weight Watchers has, just so you come to the meetings where you sound, I don't know, anyway. But I dug out all that material, and what I did is I used their point system to learn portion control and nutrition and which foods that I could eat a lot of, which foods that I had to limit. And notice that I said limit because with the Weight Watchers diet, I think one of the great things about it, or was for me anyways, you can eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you eat, but you have to be willing to, you have to put those points, figure them into your overall daily allowance or weekly allowance. You just have to, if you want something really wicked like cheesecake, you just have to be willing to give up something else in that place.